Democrats, we felt that we didn't have a say on who could be president. We talk a lot about the Republicans being autocrats and oligarchs and taking over democracy, but from the Democrat perspective, and I'm a lifelong Democrat, I felt like the Democratic Party completely removed the democratic process from its constituents.
Bernie Sanders is also a fool. He went on a podcast, talked to a couple comedians, and actually said something sort of right here. Look how, first off, I want you to, when you're watching this clip, I want you to look at Bernie's, his body language is always, there's always like this. But I want you to watch his body language. I want you to see the depression in his face. He realizes that he's basically done. AOC is now squeezing the last bit of Bernie Sanders juice out of his old body to basically take his socialist dream and do something else with it entirely. He knows he's basically done, but watch him actually say something true about how corrupt the Democrats have been for the last decade plus.
The problem I think a lot of voters had is like they didn't even know if it was her. We didn't even know if Biden was president. We didn't even know if these were her talking points. And we felt that over the last 4 elections, Democrats, we felt that we didn't have a say on who could be president. We talk a lot about the Republicans being autocrats and oligarchs and taking over democracy, but from the Democrat perspective, and I'm a lifelong Democrat, I felt like the Democratic Party completely removed the democratic process from its constituents. And I think they need to have some accountability of that.
No argument here.
I donated for you. I wanted you to, like, 2016, I was like, this is going to happen. This guy's going to do it. And it felt like they stole it from me. And I'll be honest, it broke my heart when you supported him.
Look, but you have, in the world that I live in, you got a choice. And I mean, a lot of people, including my wife, agree with you. But, you're down to a choice. Is it going to be Hillary Clinton or is it going to be Donald Trump? Not a great choice.
But would we not also say if ostensibly there hasn't been a fair primary for the Democrats since 2008, are they not also a threat to democracy? Yes. We often hear.
Fair enough. That is, yeah, I'm not going to argue with that.
Fair enough. They are a threat to the democracy, and they did screw me over, but I'm a Democrat. I'm almost done.
You can just read it on him. He knows it's almost over. And in the end, Bernie will have done absolutely nothing for this country. He will have done an awful lot. He ushered in an awful lot of bad ideas under the guise of tolerance and decency and being a nice socialist and I'm for everybody. He helped usher in this progressive lunacy, but the man accomplished nothing other than becoming a millionaire who owns 3 houses, who sold himself out. That's the question. That's really what this is about, because they, what's his name? Andrew, what's the guy's name? Andrew Schulz basically says to him, Hillary and the Democrats, they screwed you over. It seemed like it was going to be you, and they screwed you over. And he basically is like, yeah, they did. And my wife thinks I'm a sellout too. And, with nothing a little blue chew can't solve. You know what I'm saying? But he knows it's basically over for him, and it should be. And the thing that he ushered in, it's not that he just ushered in the idea that socialism is good and giant government is good and everything else. It's that was the first step. But then it got infused with all of this racial stuff. Bernie, to Bernie, it's not even credit, but Bernie did not, I don't think, intend for the progressive movement to come as hyper racist as it became and become about all the gender stuff. His thing was an economic thing. You may disagree with it, I obviously do, but I don't think he intended that then it would become the culturally Marxist thing that we all know about as it pertains to gender and the trans stuff and race and everything else.